Well, I think we can sort of take some. We can use the deal with Japan and the deal with Europe that was just recently inked this week as a kind of template for what the U.S. is looking for. I think the first thing is that they would probably reduce tariffs, but keep them at around 15%, and maybe they'll be higher on certain goods. So that would be a cut from sort of where we're looking at now, but the tariff levels would still be relatively high. The second thing is, in exchange for this, is the U.S. would be looking for some kind of guaranteed dollar amounts and very targeted on certain types of U.S. exports into China. So we saw that in terms of the energy deal that was struck between the U.S. and Europe. There's some concern about that we can get into, but what the U.S. is going to want to announce is an actual number. And the third thing is that the U.S. is going to want to announce an actual number in terms of foreign direct investment from China into the U.S. So I think those are the three things that we should be expecting. How important these numbers actually are and whether they're achievable is still open to question. But I think those are that's the broad framework that we should be looking for in terms of some U.S.-China deal over time.
I'm just looking at this tariff simulator report talking about the impact from the global trade war and how trade with China, of course, is shifting. And I'm looking at, in terms of the beneficiaries, Russia is going to be with the lion's share, but also top of the list is Vietnam and even Saudi Arabia. Can you talk to us a little bit as we shift our conversation back to the Middle East? In terms of Saudi Arabia, this survey puts it at $28 billion with an expansion of trade with China. Talk to us about the Middle East impact from the China trade war with the United States and how it'll benefit from it.
Well, I think there's a couple of things to consider. The first is that sort of China is looking for other export markets. If they're cut off from the U.S., they're looking for other markets to export to. Part of the increase in Chinese exports so far has definitely been to Europe, but Europe is somewhat cagey, let's say, about protecting its own industries. And so there are other markets where the domestic industries are not in direct competition with China, and where they're probably going to see more opportunity in terms of China seeing more opportunity to export elsewhere into the world. And you can see some sort of reciprocal trade discussions there. I think also that China may be looking to increase some of its energy exports from elsewhere in the world. So that may be part and parcel of it, but that really depends on what kind of a deal they set with the U.S. So I think that in terms of energy flow has been really a focus of the U.S. in these trade negotiations. So we still have to wait and see in terms of the details. Then you have the whole question with Vietnam. It's really about transshipment. So what the U.S. has said is we're going to be focusing really on where the origin of the goods is rather than where they're coming from directly before getting to us. So I also think that it will be difficult to tell whether Vietnam is really a beneficiary or not of the negotiations that take place between the U.S. and China.